did you know that the reason that NMS may not indicate a positive is because it will be below the reportable limit?
Yes.
Not necessarily because there's no indication of it. Are you aware of that?
Yes. I've never been told that there was ever any fentanyl in it.
And to be fair, did you know that these records are part of what we call a litigation packet?
I did not know that.
And when you get your toxicology report results, they don't come with the litigation packet.
Correct.
Right. You have to request and pay for those.
Okay.
Are you familiar with pharmacokinetics?
Some.
Are you able to perform the pharmacokinetics calculations?
No.
Okay. That's for a forensic toxicologist, right?
Right.
Okay. And were you aware that Dr. Kotulski did not agree with your method of combining EME with cocaine to get a definitive measure of concentration level?
Objection, Your Honor. Counsel is misstating the witness
Okay,
testimony.
the jury's heard that. What are you wanting to reference about prior testimony without you determining whether it's correct or not?
No, Your Honor, I checked. It is.
See, there you go again. It's not up to you to check. These ladies and gentlemen of the jury are going to check everything.
Yes,
So
sir.
what is your question?
In regards to your testing to get an accurate picture of exactly what was going on as it relates to substances, a hair follicle test would be a good way to actually get a good picture of what type of drugs and or substances in someone's body. Would you agree?
Well, the problem with that, sometimes if you're worried about levels, is there's not a lot of studies or samples or experiences you can compare to with hair. They draw blood in the hair, sure, and show if there's any drugs there.
It wouldn't show?
Yeah, it would show if there were any drugs there, yes.
Thank you. As it relates to I know I'm going to mess this up, the focal myocyte
Hypertrophy.
hypertrophy, thank you. Miss Benning was a young woman, correct?
Yes,
And otherwise a very healthy young woman, correct?
correct.
Now, we're certainly not saying that the only reason that she would have an enlarged ventricle is because of cocaine use. Not saying that,
No.
but it is certainly a possibility, is it not?
I mean, something that will increase your blood pressure would cause your, heart cells to work harder. So you could say myocyte hypertrophy goes with things like that. So that could be a lot of different things. Cocaine's one of many on the list.
What other things would be on the list?
I mean, any sort of stimulant or, even, who knows, anxiety or genetic problems or whatever.
When you say stimulant, what is a stimulant?
Well, like fentanyl, methamphetamine, something that drives the blood pressure up.
When you were determining and making the decision as to what to test for, I think you said that you had done some research into Miss Benning, and with the cocaine, that was significant enough for you to stop there, right?
Well, it's not so much that it's stopped there, but we really want to, and this is the case because, like I said, the blood sample is limited. We want to kind of focus in on the things that we want to confirm, because otherwise if you test for everything, you're going to run out of blood. You're not going to be able to confirm anything. So in this case, we already knew that she was positive for cocaine, and we wanted to get a number. Like I wanted a number that I could recognize. And then that was really the only positive test that she'd had.
When you were making your decisions, weren't you not making your decisions under the impression that she had no history of drug use?
I mean, whether she had a history of drug use or not, you need to look at what are your positive tests. And then you can think about the history when you're looking at the interpretation of those results.
But weren't you told she had no history of drug use?
I was told that the only drug history she had was making some marijuana edibles in the past, and that had stopped when she found out she was pregnant. So no recent drug history.
Do you remember taking or giving a testimony previously in regards to Ms. Benning?
Yes.
And do you remember when you gave that testimony, I believe you stated that she does not have a history of drug use. She did not appear to want to take anything that would harm her child or herself.
Right. So knowing with her pregnancy, she stopped even with the marijuana edibles, and there was no reason to believe she had taken any drugs as of late.
But she did have a history of drug use, didn't she?
We talked about that. So you even showed me the transcript, and we talked about how I said she didn't have specifically like the cocaine, that sort of illicit drug use, that the only drug use I was aware of was the marijuana edibles.
Well, I'm looking at the transcript here. It doesn't say that. It just says no history of drug use.
Okay, but we talked about it on my direct, or my, I guess, cross the first time to clarify this.
And if you say that she did not appear to want to take anything that would want to harm herself or her child, how do you explain cocaethylene in her system?
I don't know how the cocaine was delivered to her, if it was absorbed in some sort of alcohol. I do not know how that was done or where that alcohol came from.
Would Ms. Benning not be able to taste cocaine and alcohol if she was given it unknowingly?
I don't know how much alcohol it might be, and I don't know anything about cocaine taste, so I can't help you with that.
There is none. And certainly when you, or before you came to any of your conclusions, you had met with law enforcement and the prosecution, correct?
So I met with law enforcement because I rely on law enforcement and their investigation when I'm determining manner of death. So it's very important that I know the circumstances of the case.
And that is where you learned she had no history of drug use, right?
The history that we've discussed, yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Just to clarify, Dr. Carney, your cause of death was not based off of the meetings with anyone. It was just the manner of death. Is that right?
Correct. So the cause of death is something I'll determine through the autopsy and the toxicology and the histology, the looking at the slides, all the work that I do on my end. I really refer to the investigation for manner of death.
Any other questions?
No, Your Honor.